It's red. The button is red.
I know red should mean stop, but it actually means go.
Yeah, it means stop fucking around. It's time to talk about the Golden Bachelorette. Ah. So welcome to the Ugly Truth Sideshow, where we talk about reality TV that we're watching. And currently, Stephanie and I are watching the Golden Bachelorette with Joan.
Quite by happenstance, because we didn't think we'd watch it.
Okay, so here's the thing, because we haven't actually had a show about the Golden Bachelorette yet.
No.
This is our first one.
Well,
There's been 3 episodes.
I didn't think we were going to watch it.
I didn't
and then
either.
I watched an episode and so did you.
You called me and you're like, hey, are you watching the Golden Bachelorette? And I'm like, I hadn't planned on it, but I've seen some teasers, but I hadn't planned on it. And you're like, I think we should watch it. And I'm like, okay. So Stephanie, I watched the first episode and I'm crying.
Same.
And I called you.
I'm such a fool. I feel like I'm premenstrual 30 days out of the month.
I called you and I said, Stephanie, we have to watch this show.
It was good.
I couldn't believe it. I was so mad. I'm like, I'm sucked back into the stupid Bachelorette.
I know, but it's not stupid.
It's not stupid. Now I will say this.
Well, it is stupid in premise, but
it is. But the emotional pull is growing tired. Like, I'm ready for us to move past it. Like,
they will, though.
We've all discussed our dead spouses. We've all discussed our
divorces, our children.
Yeah, and I'm like, if it takes 3 episodes to get there, fine. And it seems like that's what's happened.
Yes.
So
and they did, and the thing I do love about this version of the show is they shut them down quick.
Fast.
They cut like 3 to 4.
3 a week.
So good. Let's get down to the nitty gritty. So I don't need to see all the ones that are never going to make it.
It is. Now, I am not attracted to any of the men on this show.
I'm trying to
There
think.
are parents' age. It's really difficult.
Well, that's true.
There's one man who's under the age of 60. He's 57. And it's Kelsey's dad. Kelsey won The Bachelor.
Oh, yeah,
She ended up with Joey, right?
I got to remember this guy.
Yeah, it's Mark or Mike.
His name is Mark.
Mark. He's a retired
Army vet.
Well, there's a couple military, not surprisingly.
The captain of the ship, but he's gone.
Kim is gone. I'm not surprised, by the way.
No, me either. He wasn't her type at all.
Here's the thing. I don't really know what her type is yet. I can't figure it out.
Do you think it's Pascal? We were talking before the show, and I didn't want to touch on Pascal because I wanted to talk about him on the show.
I think that there are several men who are there for television viewership and not for her. Pascal is TV gold.
And who is he?
He's a French hairdresser.
But he's got to be more than that because he's really, really, really wealthy.
I think he's kind of like... I think he has some franchises.
Is he like a Paul Mitchell type dude?
I think he's a baby
Europe?
Paul Mitchell. Well, he doesn't work in Europe. He's in like Chicago or something.
Okay.
I think wherever.
Well, he's French.
Well, he's from France.
Yeah. I mean, his accent's super thick.
His sad story is that he had a very bad childhood.
Yeah.
And
he doesn't really have a sad story.
I'll be honest with you. I didn't hear why he immigrated to the United States, but somehow he ended up here.
Probably
and
money.
He's like, I love women. I love hair. And I'm like, and you love good things. And I mean, if I was attracted to you, I would 100% go out on a date with you, but there's nothing about him.
You know what?
He's like, I'll pay you $100 to do my laundry. And I'm like, oh, I love it.
Which I think is cute and funny for the show. But as far as like from a woman's standpoint, I could not be with a man with an ego like that. It would make me insane.
He has a very inflated ego. Everything's very superficial. Everything has to look a certain way. And Joan is perfect for that, but she's not superficial.
She's not superficial.
Not really.
And he seems like the kind of guy that would treat women like the help. And I just can't with that. You know what I mean? Like everybody's the help, not just women, but everybody's the help.
For sure, unless he's doting on you because you're paying him to do it.
Yeah, but I mean, and then get a 25-year-old who's going to be with you for 10 years. And
honestly,
then,
he probably will.
He probably does.
So my point is I think that Pascal. I got to look at the list of people. And
Charles. The Chinese guy, is he Chinese or Vietnamese? I can't remember.
I don't know.
The one who was married for 44 years and his wife died, and he can't even say her name.
Charles is from Philadelphia. He's 66. He's a financial analyst. He is a handsome man, but he's there for our viewership. He's not there there's no love match. Charles.
Who's Charles?
The Asian man.
Oh yeah.
He has captured all of our hearts.
And because he's sweet.
He's the sweetest man ever. And I feel like he's kind of helping her through her grief.
Well, I think he's more of a friend, you know?
Absolutely.
She's comfortable because she can trust him. He's not creepy.
But she's keeping him around because the producer's like, everybody loves Charles. Don't send him home yet.
Well, and you know what? In a show
still
like this, you need someone who you can be, who you're not attracted to. And you're,
I think that Gary is there for the TV viewership. I don't think she's attracted to Gary. I think she likes having him around. I think Gary.
No.
I think Gary probably smells really good.
Gary's like...
I like Gary.
What was the chick's name with the short hair that looked like Kris Jenner?
Oh, Susan.
She's just like Susan and the other little one that they hung out with. You know, the one that ended up being on the finale of the Golden Bachelor.
I'll be honest. I thought that Jack was the Susan of the crew. Jack was the one.
Oh,
he's the caterer from Chicago.
I liked him, but not for her.
No, all he wanted to do was party. He's like, "Hey, where's the bourbon?"
I
like
know,
right when he
funny.
walked in, and he's like immediately like it's day one. He's like, "I told her that I would make her a meal," and he immediately disrobes into a kimono and starts in the kitchen preparing like a veal cutlet. Veal marsala, and then he comes back and he gives her this meal, and I'm like, does Joan look like she just eats on the fly? This woman eats like 2 meals a day.
She's like a size 0.
She's not going to just dig into a veal marsala at 2 a.m, because by the time she actually said, "Hey, this is going to be really great," it was like the sun was coming up.
Oh my god, these people are so tired,
and I love it.
It's hilarious. Gil's 60. He's not old. Well, Chuck and Gil are both 60.
I don't like chalk.
I know you don't like chalk. If you look at what's left, with the exception of the ones we talked about that are there for a very specific purpose, who are not going to end up with her.
Yes.
They all are kind of the same. Like she has a
type.
She has a type.
She does. You're correct. Now the only,
Guy's cute. He's the doctor.
Guy is from Reno. He's the emergency room doctor.
Yeah, he's the doctor.
She immediately, when she met him, she goes, "He's really cute."
She did.
It was the first thing she said. She thought he was cute. I don't think Guy's very attractive. I think he's got big teeth. And
he does have big teeth.
I think he has an issue with personal space. A lot of these men do, actually. They get a little too close. I'm like, you know what? You need to back the fuck up. I can smell your aqua velva. Honestly.
Well, Guy, because I don't know. I have met a lot of doctors personally through Jerry's work. They're a little weird.
Well, they save lives.
And he's
like a trauma doctor.
They're kind of like pilots in the sense that they all have this thing about them that allows them to do horrendous things in horrendous circumstances that the average person could not do.
Right.
And so there's just something a little weird about, not weird, but do you know what I mean?
They're like nutty professors.
Yes.
They are.
But But he is, of the ones that I've met, he's really great. Like he does have some personality. And I think him being away from work, the longer it goes on, I think he might
normal up
more
a bit.
Of him.
They did a senior prom, which I thought was hilarious.
I thought it was hilarious too.
There was some sob stories there as well. Jonathan's like, "I didn't go to my senior prom."
I know.
And I'm like, "Do you want to hear my story about junior prom?
Oh, God.
Do we want to talk about it?" Because mine
Junior or senior?
It was junior prom. Because by senior prom I had a boyfriend, but junior prom I had no interest in anyone. And they're like, "Oh, this guy, he's our friend. He's a sophomore, but he's our age." I
remember. What was his name?
I'm not going to say
because I'm
friends with him on social media. Well, I'm friends with him, and I've
sakes.
never been more happier for a person in my life, actually, because he tried to kill himself the day before junior prom. And it was a running joke for a long time that he would rather die than go to junior prom with me.
Oh, for God's sakes.
And so
how did I not remember
He felt so terrible that his mother called me because he was in a hospital for mental illness. His mother called me. She goes, "He really wants you to come and visit. He wants to apologize." And I'm like, "He owes me nothing." And she's like, please do this for him." I'm like, "Of course." So I show up. All of our friends are there. Everybody's there. And I'm like, "Oh God," it's like my nightmare. So he pulls me aside and he's like, "I just want you to know this had nothing to do with you. This was something else." Obviously. I'm like, obviously, because we were friends.
Yeah.
And he goes, "I just wanted you to know that I didn't want to rather die than go to prom with you. Like, this is not," he goes, "but I hope we can joke about this one day." I go, "We can joke about it right now. And it's totally fine. I mean, we need humor in this situation. Your parents are desperately glad that you're alive.
Your parents.
You're 16, for God's sake."
Oh my God.
So now we're friends on social media, and he is, ridiculously in love with his wife. They have 3 beautiful children. They travel. Yay. He's successful. It's amazing. So,
oh my gosh, thank God.
Sidebar. But anyway, so they do this senior prom for the Golden Bachelorette. Now, I personally don't know if I like stuff like this. It feels cheesy.
Well, on this particular show, what I don't want them to do, and I think they did it a little bit on the Golden Bachelor, was they make old people look cute.
Yes.
Like we're supposed to feel sorry for them. Oh, look at the old people dancing.
I don't like that.
And first of all, these people are not old.
They're only in their 60s.
Early 60s, most of them.
And I realized that there was a time when being quote unquote elderly was 55 plus. But it's not.
Someone the other day
Have you seen J-Lo? She's older than me.
Thank you.
And that's not elderly, my friend.
She's so gorgeous.
Our age, the way we take care of ourselves now, we are agile. People can move. Right. They work out. They work until 80.
This is an awkward moment, but it fits. So I was in a meeting yesterday. I'm sorry, Friday. And what doesn't matter. I was in a meeting the other day. Daryl cut. Yeah. And we were talking about our experiences with our clientele at work. Mm-hmm. And mine's been different last year because I'm doing face to face now, and I'm in a law enforcement environment. So I was telling a story about somebody I was helping and how terrible this person's shape, how her life and her physical body and everything was bad. And when I went back to my desk, I looked up to see how old she was, and she was 40. And she looked like she was 70.
Oh, no.
Now, I helped her, and I did a lot for her. And that was the moral of the story that I was telling. But I mentioned this part. I go, yeah. So when I looked at her, I'm like, this person was 10 years younger than me. Mm-hmm. And she was like 40, 41, something like that. The room got so quiet. And one of my friends looked at me. She goes, shut up. What? And I'm like, what? She goes, are you serious? She's like, you're 51?
Oh, I know. This has happened to me.
And I'm like, first of all, I was caught off guard.
You're like, what?
I didn't understand, like,
what do you mean? What, you think I'm 60?
No, yeah, right.
I would have immediately
which way do I take this? Yeah,
like,
she's like, you do not even look like.
Yeah,
but was like
that's happened to me.
The reaction was so intense. Like 51 is so fucking old. There's no way I could be it.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
it's not old anymore. It used to be very old. People were dying. Listen, people used to retire at 50. Back in the old days,
I felt like I'm like, where's my walker and my cane?
I told you that I met somebody that I play games with online, and when I eventually I told her how old I was, there was this long pause, and she's like, "Well, that's okay," and I'm like, "Yeah, I know." I know it's
we could be on the next Golden Bachelorette.
But here's the thing.
We're old enough, apparently.
I don't know if I look my age or not, but most people say I don't. Like every time I go get a mammogram, I tell them how old I am. They're like, are you having a breast problem? I'm like, no, why? They're like, well, what's your birth date?
Like, why are you here?
And I'm like, I tell them the birth date, and they look at the file and they go, oh, you don't look like you should be here. And I'm like,
hate it.
I don't hate it, but I also
I don't hate it that I look. Thank God they think I look younger.
Yeah,
but at the same time, in their mind, the number is like, wow.
I think we're going through a transitional period right now where people realize that our age is not old anymore.
I hope so. Wait till they get our age, then they're going to suddenly be like, God, what was I thinking? I told her she was old when she was 51.
I saw a picture of Judi Dench when she was 50.
Who's that?
She's just an actress. She's in her 80s now. Oh. And when I tell you this woman looks gorgeous, I'm like, why did Hollywood ever think that 50 was old? It's insane to me.
I don't know.
Because these women are
we died young.
Yes.
We used to die young.
Right. Anyway.
You would die in your 60s, and that was pretty common.
Going back to the show.
Yes, please.
So my one take is this. I think that Mark, who is Kelsey's dad, who came in like a quote unquote surprise. First of all, he's incredibly handsome, and he's one of the younger men, 57.
He's humble and sweet.
He's very sweet. But here's the thing. He's boring as hell. He's such a snooze fest. I'm like, please tell me he's going to perk up, because I'm really struggling with his complete dry
Maybe it's a producing thing, and they're going to wait until there's a few more people gone before we really see.
What I've noticed about the Golden Bachelorette series is that the ones that they have a real connection with, you don't see them as often.
Yeah, that happened last time.
And then there's some
Kelsey, she was in the background for the longest time until the last however many handful of episodes,
when there was like 5 left.
And as a matter of fact, when after they interviewed them and everything, her and him knew she was the one long before they even revealed they had like a serious thing.
So I am curious now. She took Chalk, which what a weird name.
I know.
When he interviewed him, he's like, "Hi, my name's Chalk. I'm from Midwestern somewhere, and I really love my mother." And I went, "Okay."
He's from Wichita, Kansas.
There you go, Kansas. And I'm like, "All right. I think you have a temper." I immediately noted. I immediately got the trigger that he has a bad temper, and I couldn't figure out why, because he's very harsh talking, and the fact that his mother is his goddess, I'm like, red flags all around. Yeah. And so she took him on a date, and she's like, "Well, I just want to see if you can be fun." And I'm like, "What? Oh,
I remember that.
Like, okay." And he tried real hard. I don't think he can be fun.
Not fun.
I think he's just
boring.
I don't know if he's boring, or if he's just really set in his ways. Or is he a
jerk?
I think he might be a jerk. And then in the Reddit, someone said, "Oh, I actually indirectly know Chalk because my dad or mom worked with him and they know him fairly well." And I responded and I said, "I don't know. He looks like he has a temper to me." She goes, "Well, I never liked him." And I went, "See, I knew it."
Yeah, you have good instincts.
Well, men are not hard to figure out.
No, not generally.
So I will be curious to see. They will be sending Charles home, I think. And did I say what his name was?
What does he do? Guy?
No, not Guy. I think Guy's a top contender.
I do too.
I think that Gary will go home. And I would never, I don't even know how to say it. You know, Jonathan?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's super good looking.
He's very cute. I mean, Stephanie, I think he's gay.
Did you get a gay vibe?
I did. And I mean, my gaydar ain't great, but I don't know. He's just been divorced and it was a really hard divorce. And I'm not saying that he is. I'm just saying he feels.
Yeah, you never know.
Like the scenes for next week is they go on some kind of date and he's like, "Let's seal it with a kiss." And it's like, it looks like two.
It's like the most awkward.
Oh my God. Closed mouth, no romance, very like dry.
They have no chemistry.
None. And I'm like, I understand why, he's probably just one of the nicest men on the planet, but it's like, I just, he just isn't vibing with her. And
there's only 11 of them left. So, I mean,
so many. But watching this, I'm like,
no, it's really not that many. To me, it's only 3 episodes.
And I think there's only like 6 or 8 episodes total.
Oh, okay. Maybe this is a short.
They tend to shorten these because
I thought the goal
is all the men are like, "I'm exhausted."
They can't do it.
Greg snores. Like he's literally.
Oh my God, that is so. That's some of the funniest scenes.
He got kicked out. They he's not allowed to sleep in the bedrooms. He has to sleep out on the couch.
I don't blame him.
Dude, I'm like, the amount of medicines, the amount of medications that must be lined up on all the windowsills.
Well, the good thing about them getting cut so quickly is that they can
go back to their
span out. Well, no, I'm getting my own room now. There's not
you guys,
20 of us.
I'm going in the 3rd living room, and that's where I will be living.
Thank you.
I would probably do it immediately.
And
by the way,
Pascal talking about sleeping naked and walking around. I'm like, ugh.
He's like, "You can't put a pair of boxers on, dude."
He's like, "No, this is what I do.
I sleep naked." And I'm like, "Oh God."
I am very comfortable in my manhood," or whatever he said.
Congratulations.
I still don't want to see your, 60-year-old schlong in the middle of the night walking by.
I don't want to see your little plug. Get out of here. God.
No.
All I know is that when they're in their room, when they're ready for the rose ceremony, and they're all sitting around going, "Well, tonight's the night," and all that stuff. And I'm like, the absolute musk of old man and cologne. It's significant.
James,
I've
had so many thoughts. I mean,
the air is thick in there.
This is my first.
I would walk in and go, "Can we open a window, please?"
Oh, they'd all be open.
We need fans. I just
everything.
Cannot. No offense to the men. I'm sure individually they smell amazing, but come on. There's going to be
I've only watched
Aqua Velva, Brute, maybe even a Drakkar or two.
These men have a lot of money, so they probably have the high-end stuff. We'll give them that.
Cologne,
but that doesn't mean it's not strong.
Calvin Klein, whatever
it is. But I only have ever watched the Golden Bachelor.
Where it's all women.
And the Golden Bachelor. And the Bachelorette. Yeah, The Bachelor.
We've only seen the Bachelor.
I'm trying to figure out.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah, we've only seen women.
So yes. So for me, women are pristine. I don't care who they are.
Oh, they smell amazing. They're clean. No one smells. There's no BO. There's no bad
laundry
breath.
or underwear laying around anywhere. We don't have smelly socks in a hamper somewhere.
Absolutely not.
Right. So this is my first experience. Now, if this was the regular Bachelorette,
yes.
Oh, I didn't watch that one. I had no interest in watching that one with Jen. I didn't want to watch it.
I didn't watch any of it.
And
it ended poorly, by the way.
It did end poorly.
She ended up single, basically.
I know, he dumped her in the end, apparently.
Oh, he was such an asshole.
God.
I think it was actually meant to be that way.
I would struggle with that scene of them all being in the mansion. Young men. Because old men, granted, they stink, but they're not as bad.
Well, they stay clean. And they manicure themselves.
They do. And there's just something about younger men who are pungent. They're smellier.
They are.
I don't know why, but and that could be completely untrue. But in my mind, they are. So
yeah.
I could not see 20-something men in a house all living together.
I don't want to do it.
Just the thought of it makes me want to gag.
I don't know, did you see the scene where they were all cleaning the kitchen together in the morning after breakfast and the disposal stopped working?
So somebody's gonna be like, "I got it."
Kim, who's no longer there, he's the Navy captain or whatever. He goes, well, he goes, luckily there's a lot of capable men here. And he gets down on his knees and he goes, I need an Allen wrench. And then he goes, oh, guess what, everyone? It's attached to the disposal. Like they all are.
Yeah.
So he grabs it and he rinks it and no one gives a shit. No one's paying attention to him except for the cameraman.
He thinks, yeah.
He's like, well, we did it. It's working. This is how it's supposed to sound. And I'm like, oh, God.
Stop. Yeah, he made a couple other comments that made him sound really old. So I knew he wasn't going to last.
Yeah. And, the thing is with what Joan's got to realize, and I'm sure she does because she's also in her 60s, is these men are set in their ways.
Oh, God.
And there's not much they're going to do. I don't care if they have the most amazing woman on the planet. They are set. They're done.
Yeah.
This is it.
That's the thing about men. Whoever they are at 18, that's who they are at 68.
They can refine themselves.
I mean, they do refine themselves.
They do.
And money does
and some
help
can
and
change.
Success.
And some men will change. But at 60-something and they're widowed, they're not. No. There's not much they're going to change. Yeah. They'll be like, this is my routine. I poop every day at 6:30 a.m. I drink I drink my coffee, read the paper. I do my thing. Indeed. And, and then I'm eating by noon. I mean, they're very... I'm speaking generally. No. Many are very regimented. And all these men have very regimented careers. None of them artistic.
No.
None of them are very... The most artistic would be the doctor.
Yes.
He's the most artistic. Maybe the caterer, but he's not there anymore.
No.
So it's like she obviously wants someone who has money, who is financially independent, because, who wants to rely? I wouldn't.
I think they're all financially independent.
Oh, for sure.
That's the way I took it, at least.
And I was very surprised that she gave the first impression rose
to that guy.
I thought he was a little too...
Why is Keith just listed as a girl dad? Does he not have a job?
I think he's retired.
But yeah, they're all retired except for the doctor.
Maybe he doesn't want to say what he is.
Yeah, maybe he's a cop or something.
Oh, maybe.
But he's the guy that's from San Jose.
You know what I like?
So if you live in San Jose, you're rich. Sorry.
Oh, for sure. But you know what? What about
San Jose, California people?
What about?
Because we know we have all these listeners out there from around the world who are going, "Where's San Jose?" Just kidding.
It's the Bay Area in Northern California.
It was a joke. No one's listening.
Oh yeah. But the thing with Keith is, I was a little surprised because he seems like a football coach, basically. Keith. And he,
oh yeah.
And he, she's like, oh, you're so fun.
He cries really easy though.
Well, he has all girls.
I know, but still.
And they, you can tell that they adore him.
Yeah.
And
his ex-wife was a drug addict.
And he had to take the kids.
Red flag.
Well, that's true.
Might have a broken picker, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's true too. But I will
he's
say,
only 62.
But I will say this though, same with the production thing that we talked about with Mark. He's getting no airtime.
Yeah, he's low key.
None.
Yeah.
So who do you think your top 3 are right now?
Well, for like real contenders.
Yes, real contenders.
That could actually end up with her. I do like Mark.
Yes.
I really do. Just because both from a producer standpoint, why they're keeping him on the down low, I think that's a clue.
Yes.
As well as he has a very demure and a quiet kind of personality, at least so far. Mm-hmm. He's from the South. And so I think he's probably respectful to women. His daughter obviously was raised well. So I think that makes him a good guy all around.
Yes.
I like Guy. I don't know if he's in it for the long haul, but I think he will definitely be in the top 4 or 5.
Yes.
So I'm going to say Guy, Mark, and just off the top of my head, I don't hate Jordan. I don't think he's the best looking, but I think he's got kind of a nice personality. He's the sales manager from Chicago. So, and he's 61. Mm-hmm.
And you know what? Me too.
He's another one that they haven't really put in the spotlight.
So I will say this. She lives in Maryland.
Okay.
So she couldn't be farther away from
all of these people.
Most of these people.
Yeah.
My top 3 or 4 would be, just for the sake of the show, I think it's Mark, Keith, Jordan. I am not super confident in Guy. Yeah. I don't know why. I'm not certain on him. I do think she's attracted to him physically though, so he could be a top contender.
Well, I think she's attracted to him too because he's really smart.
I think what's going to come down to it though is geography.
For sure.
And I think that's why Guy will not be chosen. Because,
well, there's a guy that's from Florida.
Yeah, that's he's a private investigator.
Yeah.
And investor. And I did think, investor.
Naples.
And I did think that he might end up being a top contender simply because of geography. And he got really vulnerable during the talent show. Mm-hmm. And so I'm but I didn't see any sparks.
I don't either.
You know,
he's 64.
Yeah.
And he looks like he's got a little Bell's palsy in his mouth, like maybe like one of his he's got like a saggy side. But I don't know. You know what? Like I said, it's still. I think we're finally getting into the nitty gritty of it, which thank God, because I can't. With
the next time we talk, I think 2 or 3 episodes will have passed.
So what day does this show drop? Thursday?
I have no idea.
I think it's Thursday.
I watch them all on afterwards.
I watch everything on the weekend. So
and
everything's DVR for me.
And I was talking to our producer about this, and I said, honestly, I couldn't do a weekly show on this because not that much happens.
No.
But
I couldn't.
Doing a collective recap is so much better.
Oh yeah. You know, we watched 2 episodes. Well, we technically watched all 3 because we haven't done a show.
Yeah.
But I mean, I watched the first one when it. Like a couple days after it.
And when it comes to these shows, I'll be honest, like on the 3rd episode, they're like, oh, we're going to do a group date. And I'm like, oh,
done.
Pass.
I'm over it.
So they have all these poor men doing kickball.
I know. That was funny, actually.
And they're all falling and getting sore. And I'm like, what are we doing? I'm not saying that 60 is old in that aspect, but let's be honest. Some of these men aren't running.
I'm not going to go out there and kick a ball, run around the field.
I don't care if I'm a CrossFit trainer. I'm not going out there doing kickball
I'm not doing it.
At some elementary school?
No.
What are we doing?
No. And and by the way, all of these men are in great shape.
Of course they are.
So none of them are fat or ugly or old or gross no, they're all in really good shape. They all are
fit and in shape. But I mean, honestly, if I was Joan, I'd be like I'm ever going to see this man do this.
And honestly, why? It's just right.
It's so awful. It's like, this is like PE all over again. I don't want to do it. I'll take the F.
Yeah. And to be fair, I think with the producers, I know that they need content, and so they put stuff like this in. But I mean, why
can't we go wine tasting?
Thank you. I'm like, at this age, why are we not like, let's do a hot air balloon ride?
Yes.
Or, you know, if you want to make them look young and adventuresome, you know, a hot air balloon ride does it. Or
let's do a bet. Let's go for a hike.
Something.
I don't know. Anything is better than this. I don't know. Let's be realistic with what someone with money is going to do in their 60s. They're not going to play kickball.
No, ever.
Stop it. I mean, I know we did the pickleball thing already, so they can't really go back to that.
No.
But there's got to be, can we play golf?
Well, the Disneyland idea wasn't a bad idea. Obviously Disneyland was, that's a plug for them.
Well, it's ABC, yeah.
Yeah, or true, I forgot. Yeah. And you know, I know.
And I loved it. I would be like,
I'll go
to Disneyland. Hell yeah, let's do it.
I like and I know they're always with these golden ones. They're trying to make them look younger, so they put them in younger type scenes, so you don't see them as ancient. You know, like we're not going to send them to the bingo hall, you know, and film that.
Honestly, that would be hilarious, and I would watch that. I would watch that.
Take them, like do a yacht cruise. They did do that on the.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, do something cool.
Honestly, Stephanie,
a helicopter ride.
So I don't know if you remember, but they used to do something called Bachelor in Paradise, where they would send. I do remember
that, but I never watched.
Honestly, it was the best television ever.
So I've heard.
Because it was a bunch of horny women and men that were like so goddamn attractive
on an island,
and all they do is give them
bikinis.
In Mexico. They have a private beach. They have private villas, and all they do is drink and lay out and work out. It was the best TV.
Where do they film this show? In LA?
Well, this is in LA. The mansion's in LA. Yes.
So I mean, God, you just have there's so many things they could do.
So many amazing things.
That would be amazing.
Thinking outside of the box. They really need to hire us, Stephanie. I don't know why. Sure. Why doesn't people need to listen to us?
They should.
So
it would be so much better. I mean, if you're filming in California, my God, they could fly them to freaking Hawaii for a half a day and do it and bring them back and be like, we went to Hawaii overnight. They're like, what? So we went to Alcatraz. We went to Tahoe.
They could
Monterey.
They could pretty women this thing a million times over. So
anyway,
Bachelor in Paradise, all these young nubile hotties, right? They should do a Golden Bachelor cruise.
That'd be awesome.
Can you imagine?
And they could have
2 seasons. That'd be great. That's like 40 or 50 people. Can you imagine the hookups?
It would be
those. Apparently, I would never know, but apparently at cruises they do like games and there's like shows.
I would never know.
You can participate.
One of these days you're going to go on a cruise with me.
I don't.
See, this is the only. She would go because she would be like, she asked me, she's planning it. I have to go.
Yes,
but
I would do it for you.
Yeah.
Just like our friends Greg and Glenn.
Do they want to do it?
No. They're like, do you want to go to Mexico? And I'm like, I'd rather die. They're like, well, would you go with us? I'm like, maybe.
You would go.
Maybe. Because, I mean, wouldn't that be so fun?
You'd have so much fun, Jamie.
Stop
You'd
it.
probably love it.
I know.
Just,
and I just
do not drink. You'd be like Charlotte. Be like, I'm only eating
I would diarrhea
pudding.
immediately.
I'm not showering here unless it's filtered spring water.
I told them, I said, I'm swimming only in pools. I'm not.
And even then.
Well, that's true.
But
it's chlorinated, so
yeah,
maybe it'll be
that's
all
true.
right.
That's
there won't
true.
be any
That's true.
microbes in there.
I don't know. I saw Greg and Glenn's Instagram. I'd be exhausted like the first day.
Let me tell you something. When we record our
endless energy.
Listen, we're going to record our mainstream shows here in a moment, and I'm going to tell you all about it.
Another adventure with Greg and Glenn.
We went to Carmel with those two.
Oh God, I didn't know.
And
I knew you went, but I didn't know you went with them. Oh,
let
God.
me tell you something.
Are you still recovering?
Yes. I've been sober since. I have not. And I didn't even drink as much as they did.
Your liver was bleeding.
My liver was like, help me, please. May I have some water?
We only have enough.
Do you have a Gatorade
left to keep you alive? Do you know?
We're going to turn your eyes yellow if you don't have a water. God. I'm like, will a beer suffice? I'm sorry. Anyway.
Oh, I have a funny drunk story too. But yes, so press on. Yes.
Thank you. Yes. So that's the show. We will probably come back with a collective 2 or 3 episodes and we will recap. I'm looking forward to the drama. Chalk.
I hope so. Let's hope there is some.
The preview is that Chalk goes, I'm out of here. And he decides to leave. And I'm like, yeah, why? Because we don't know.
Overload.
Well, he keeps dropping hints. I don't know if you've noticed, but every episode he drops hints about how he's jealous and how he's having a hard time seeing her have connections with others.
Okay.
Because he's like, what about me? It's the me show.
No.
For Chalk. He doesn't get it. And so I'm like, all right.
He's not the right guy.
He's got a temper, I'm telling you. I hope it comes out. I want him to see his face red. His face always looks red already. So I'm like,
maybe he's an alcoholic.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't get that
Sometimes
impression.
the two go hand in hand.
I'm also wondering maybe he's a smoker and he's not smoking, so he's like on edge, or there's something going on with him. Like I feel like he's white knuckling something, and I don't know what it is. It's not booze because they can drink as much as they want.
That's true.
So I'm so curious.
Yeah,
I can't wait. He's like, I'm sick of you, Charles. You're not that nice. I can't wait.
I can't wait either.
All right, everyone. We'll be back soon with a collective recap. Bye.